My brother said I'm a terrible artist, so I painted a picture of his worst memory and made him cry. My brother, Nathan, is 20, but he still lives at home with me and our parents because he isn't going to college and he won't get a job. I'm a junior in high school and I definitely don't want to end up like him. I'm already thinking about colleges, specifically art school. I've loved creating art since I was a kid, and in the past few years I've really honed in on painting and it's how I spend most of my free time. My art teacher and my guidance counselor both think I have a great chance of getting into a top art school. I've been working really hard on my portfolio so I have good pieces to send out with my application. My parents let me use the garage for my painting, which really annoys Nathan because he got a motorcycle recently and he wants to be able to park it in the garage, but it's just a one-car garage so there's not really room for it with all my painting stuff. He says it's unfair for me to use it when it's supposed to be for vehicles, and if he leaves his motorcycle parked out front, someone's going to steal it or something. I don't think anyone would steal that piece of poop bike if you paid them, but whatever. Last weekend, I was painting in the garage when my grandmother called me to see if I could bring her some groceries. She had cataract surgery recently and can't drive right now. I said of course, so I stopped in the middle of my painting and went to get her groceries. When I got home a few hours later, I immediately noticed that my brother's motorcycle wasn't parked out front where it was when I left. I assumed he'd just gone out, but when I came inside to put away the groceries I grabbed for our house I heard him playing video games in the living room. I went straight to the garage and sure enough, there was his stupid motorcycle. To make room for it, he'd shoved all of my stuff to the side, and a bunch of my paintings were on the floor sitting in rainwater, and the one that was wet when I left it was completely ruined because it had smudged all over the ground. I was furious. I needed those pieces for my portfolio and I really loved the one I was working on and I was hoping to give it to my grandmother to surprise her if I got into art school. I stormed into the living room to ask my brother what the hell was the matter with him. He wouldn't even look up from his video games. He said, "That motorcycle is worth way more than your stupid paintings are." I said, "You don't even know that." And he said, "Yes I do. You're a terrible artist. No one's ever going to pay poop for them because you can't even tell what they are. Art's supposed to make you feel something or whatever. I don't know why everyone's pretending like you can get into art school when you suck." I wanted to keep yelling at him but I knew I was about to cry so I just left. I went back out to the garage to try to salvage what I could, but I was so upset and so mad that I ended up grabbing my supplies and a new canvas and going up to my room and starting a new painting. So a bit of background, when my brother was in high school, he went to a party and got drunk with a bunch of his friends. Even though our parents gave us 9 million lectures about drunk driving telling us just to call them if we ever needed a ride, he and his friends decided that they were going to go to a different party and pick up some girls and bring them back to the first party. It was raining. His best friend was driving. He was very drunk. They got into an accident. Nathan was completely fine. His friends were mostly fine. A couple had some broken bones and stuff like that but nothing life-threatening. But the other car that they hit had a little girl in it and she died. Since my brother wasn't the one driving, he just got community service for drinking underage or something. His best friend ended up having to do time. Honestly, I think my brother should have been punished worse. It's not like he told his friend not to drive, and the little girl died. He didn't even really get in trouble with our parents. They just acted like it was something that happened to him, not something he was pretty responsible for. And Nathan never acted like he was affected by it at all. So I decided, hey, why not test his little theory that I'm a horrible artist and my work isn't going to make people feel anything? I painted the rainy night on the road in his friend's car, and a little smudge on the ground that was clearly this dead little girl, but not graphic or anything. Just this little smudge and my brother standing over it, looking down. It was really moody and atmospheric, but there wasn't any blood or anything, just feelings. It took me a few days to finish because I wanted to get it exactly right. Once it was done, I found a spot in our kitchen and hung it up. I said, "Hey, Nathan, can you come check if this is hung straight?" He was grumbling but he came in, and then he saw the painting and he just froze, staring at it. I said, "Hey, can you tell what this is?" I know I'm a really terrible artist, so I wasn't sure people were going to know what it was. He didn't say a word and just kept staring at it. I said, "I didn't think it would bother you because I'm not good enough to make anyone feel anything, right?" And then he just started sobbing, standing right there in our kitchen. Honestly, I was completely surprised and uncomfortable. I thought if anything he'd just yell at me for painting it. I didn't really expect it to mess with him like that. After a minute he left the kitchen and went up to his room, still crying. I think I'm going to apologize to him because I feel kind of bad, but I'm definitely submitting this one with my portfolio because clearly it's good.